Hello everybody, Gage here from Sharp. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's a pleasure to have you with us as always. We're back at you for another exciting episode of Gage's Favorite. In today's episode, we're talking all about petty knives. So, much like our last video, we're not going to screw around here at all. My favorite petty knife in the shop as of August 2021 is the Tosaichi Bright petty knife, coming in at 135 millimeters, featuring a black packawood Western style handle with a integral bolster here. This guy is made from Algami super steel and has a stainless cladding, and it also features this really beautiful tsushimi or hand hammered finish. Now, this is a factory made knife, and it is one of our more affordable options. So in today's episode, this knife is going to double as both my favorite and my budget option. So as of August 2021, this knife is for sale on our website at $164, doubling as both my favorite and my favorite budget option. The reason I like this petty knife so much is because of the Western handle. And of course because of the Algami Super with stainless cladding, which makes the knife a little bit easier to maintain while still getting that really great edge retention and easy sharpening from the Algami Super. So furthermore, with regards to the steel type on this knife, again, made from Algami Super, which is a blue carbon steel, meaning it's got a little more stuff added to it in comparison to Shirogami. This is going to make the knife a little bit more rust resistant, so still prone to rust, and you need to make sure you wipe it down and keep it dry and clean. But when comparing it to white carbon or Shirogami carbon steel, not going to rust quite as quick. Also, because of those additional elements added to the steel, it's going to be a little tougher and less prone to chipping than Shirogami white carbon steel. And then furthermore, when we add in the stainless cladding on this guy, the only part of this knife that could possibly rust is just past the wavy line that you'll notice close to the edge of the knife here. So if you do make a mistake and forget to wipe your knife down, not a huge deal, especially when you're working with acidic ingredients like citrus. It's nice just to have that extra peace of mind that if you do make a mistake and forget to wipe it down, you're not going to have to deal with de-rusting the entirety of your blade, just a little sliver close to the edge of the knife. To touch on the weight and balance of this knife, this guy comes in at
93 grams.
93 grams, which means it is one of the heavier petty knives that we have in the shop. But of course, because of its small stature, it is quite light when compared to like gyutos and nikiris and stuff like that. So certainly not a heavy knife. But when I'm using a petty knife, again, I like something that feels a little sturdier in my hand because of how I use my petty knife. So having a little bit of extra weight, which is largely attributed to the Western style handle on this guy, really makes for a comfortable feeling petty knife, and one that I feel confident using for a lot of the tasks that I'm using my petty knife for. The balance point on this guy, and I apologize, shaky hands because of the coffee, is right about here. So really nice balance point on this guy, feels really well balanced in the hand. The reason I like the Western style handle on my petty knife is because of this little notch hooky deal thing at the bottom of the handle here. I find when I'm using a petty knife, I use it mostly for butchery tasks, as well as any sort of more intricate tasks where I'm sort of pointing my index finger and using more of the tip of the knife to either do like sort of drawing strokes or trimming vegetables and stuff like that. So having this little notch here at the bottom of the handle makes it really comfortable. You can put your pinky in there and get really, really nice, comfortable grip on this knife. Jake also made a really wonderful point about the handle on these guys, which is this integral bolster tapers down really nicely towards the tang of the knife here. It's relatively slender and makes it very, very easy to turn the knife in your fingers here. So if you're doing any sort of peeling or where you have to kind of cut on a radius, it makes it really easy to sort of turn the knife and get it sort of in that orientation that you're looking for depending on what you're cutting. The reason I chose this knife as well is because of how sturdy it is. Again, I find I use my petty knife mostly for like butchery tasks and stuff like that. So having a sort of more resilient knife is in my best interest. I'd rather not chip and damage a really thin and delicate petty knife. So having one of these means I don't have to worry too much about how I'm using the knife. You still have to be mindful of the way you're using it. You don't want to be too aggressive with it, of course. But this particular knife is going to stand up to a little more abuse than a lot of the other knives that we carry here in the shop. It is quite an understated knife. It's not the flashiest knife we have here in the shop, but when choosing a knife, the aesthetics of the knife should play a bit of a role, of course, but shouldn't be the main factor in deciding on the particular knife that you're going with. And I still think this is a really beautiful knife. So there you have it, guys. The 135mm petty from Tosaichi's Bright lineup. Gage's favorite petty. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it, and make sure to subscribe to our channel for more knife-related content. And until the next video, stay sharp.